but I'm very disappointed in our education community. I agree too that we have a great education community here in Fullerton that makes it a great city. But where are they tonight? I was willing to hear all sides, and we did not get their side. So I hope that next go-round we do hear from people from Cal State Fullerton and Hope University. So you guys showed out in numbers, and really that says a lot to me. But I'm very much against any of this project at all right now, but I am hoping that we can make it better. It's too dense. The air quality is affected. I don't believe in that closing Nutwood for an open space park is at all a solution to the problem. It's too expensive to mitigate. It's not gonna benefit really any of us. It will maybe benefit students, but I'm not so sure about that. I also believe that the parcel 6 and 7 should remain just commercial and not mixed use. I think that's probably most of it. I'm really concerned about the air quality. As a healthcare professional and an environmentally minded person, that's a real important one. Knowing that there's young people, there's students, but also, all of, the residents that are there. I don't know if in the next go-round of this we could look at putting residences a little farther away from the freeway. But all of those things are good that they come out now, and we can start to give input to that. But the air quality needs to be mitigated much more. So that's my take on it. I hope that the university can come forward and help us more with this, and thank you all for coming out.
I want to start by sharing my appreciation for everyone that's come out and provided your input. But I want to remind everyone that there's no need to be combative with us, because we're here to listen. This is a public hearing. And when your behavior is uncivil, when you have to resort to harassment, threats, or just uncivil behavior, it's distracting from your message. I want to hear your message. That's why we have a public hearing. And I want to bring the bad news that we're going to keep growing. A lot of this we have no control over. CSU Fullerton will most likely add more students in the future, but the city has no say over that. People will continue to move to Fullerton. People will continue to have kids. These are decisions that are made by external forces that we don't have control over. So it's best to plan for this growth. Plan so there's not chaos, so that there's not more traffic. If we do nothing, if there's no plan, we will still have the parking problems that you've outlined tonight, the traffic problems, the air quality problems. We're going to keep having these problems, and that's why we have a plan. So the plan we have before us tonight, it's a plan. It looks good on paper, but obviously it needs more work, because we've heard you tonight that the community is a partner in this too. Besides the city is an agency, besides the two universities, the residents and businesses in this community as a partner have expressed a lot of concerns that could be addressed at another time, or at a future meeting, or in a public workshop, but it doesn't sound like this plan has addressed that partner in this plan. I would rather have students live in the community than just drive through it. I would like them to consider Fullerton as a potential home, because frankly, when a student graduates from a college, they start looking at jobs around that area because they're probably desperate, job market and all of that. If there's jobs available. The reason there's not jobs available is because jobs go where there's new graduates, where there's new talent. We want those jobs. We want that economic growth. These students are our future, and I'd rather have them live here and bike to campus or walk to campus than just drive through the city of Fullerton trying to avoid traffic when they are also part of the cause of traffic. So I think going forward, we need a plan. But I don't think this is the plan tonight, and I'd be supportive of continuing this in other formats. I'm not ready to decide tonight which parcels we should take out. I'd rather see the community, the residents, being a partner in planning for this area.
And I guess that leaves me. I I think we had some very good comments tonight from the audience that came out. A really fired up group, and you should be fired up. If this project affects your neighborhood and affects your quality of life, and so you should come out, express yourself. One thing I would say though, for future reference, don't assume that the commissioners here have made up their mind to approve a project or disapprove a project when you come here. You guys have a tremendous amount of influence on the decisions that I know that I make and that my fellow commissioners make as well, so I just keep that in mind. I think this project probably affects more people in the city of Fullerton than any project that I've sat on in the commission and made a decision on in the last 4 years, I think it is. Certainly affects more people than Coyote Hills, but Coyote Hills got all the press. I think that we're sitting here prematurely on this project. I don't think there's been enough outreach to the community, obviously. I don't think there's been enough outreach to this commission as well. I think there's workshops that need to be performed. I think that there's some ideas that need to be taken away from this meeting tonight, and I think we should have more public hearings on it. I'm not a fan of additional bureaucracies like the improvement districts that are in the plan. I hear your voice. Somebody said something about a sound wall. I don't think a sound wall in front of your house is a good thing either, particularly to protect you from whoever is across the street. I think that closing Nutwood for me, it was just a no-starter from the beginning. I was hoping I would hear tonight some good reasons why that was necessary. And after hearing all the mitigation efforts that have to take place in order just to reroute traffic and bring those intersections up to an F, or keep them at an F, it just didn't seem like a good enough reason. Maybe in those intersections, maybe we should be looking at improving those intersections that are currently rated an F, and that's I don't know what scale it is, SOS or something like that. But maybe we should look at improving those to something better than an F the way they are now without this project. The commission, again, like I said, I think we need to be educated a little bit more about the project. I think it sounds to me like it's parked short. Everybody wants to park short all projects in the city of Fullerton. I suppose they do in all the cities around town. But I think there's just an awful lot that this project is lacking. I hate to see it die because I do agree with Commissioner Johnson. Planning is a better way of managing what's going to happen at that college, because the college is going to grow and there's going to be more students, and if it's not somehow managed with the assistance of the neighbors and the city and the stakeholders that own property there, I don't think it would be a good outcome either. So, I mean, I think there's been a lot of good talk tonight, a lot of good ideas, but I certainly couldn't support the project the way it's been presented tonight. What I would suggest, though, if my fellow commissioners are agreeable, is to postpone the vote on this project for a date certain, and I would suggest something 3 to 6 months in the future so we don't have to kill it here tonight, and maybe we can get something that is more agreeable to a larger group of people.
Commissioner, I think they may need more than 3 months. We've thrown a lot at them right now. There's a lot that they need to digest, so perhaps a date on, what would be the preference of staff to actually go back and reevaluate?
Sure, a couple of options. So if you wanted to continue and take no action tonight, then I would just say continue not to a date certain. As you said, there would be a huge amount of work and outreach that would need to be done. Committing to even to a 3 to 6 month timeline, I don't think would be enough time. It wouldn't allow the community, I don't think, enough time to participate either. The other option that you have is to recommend denial to the city council. So you can do that as well.
If we recommend denial, though, does that kill the whole process?
No, it takes a recommendation to the council of denial, and then they would see how they wanted to vote on it. So you
then
could,
they could go different ways with this as well.
So, a couple things before I maybe try to start pushing this sort of motion. You know, it's not easy for staff to sit here and take a look at all the work that they've put together and have everyone in this room, and especially us, tear them apart. And, you know, for the most part, I think you guys have behaved really well. Every once in a while, there will be some tears, but I think it's very difficult to be them right now, and none of that, we make fun of them having level of service F on these intersections, but we have to be honest with you, it's all the leaders in this community and the leadership of this city within the last 20 years that have led to that, not them. So I know that the city engineers put a lot of work into trying to fix these problems, and every year we give them less money and more responsibility, so I just think staff needs to be recognized, because it's not easy to hear all the stuff, and I know that they put a lot of time into it. They have been very responsible. I recommend that we continue this item for a date uncertain, because I think there's merit in planning this area out.
I would second that.
Any discussion? Do we have a
No,
motion on the table?
I agree, I think the very important thing is we need some process to make sure that it doesn't just wander off into